Welcome back, my dark and twisted friends. Today we're diving into the murky waters of relationships to uncover 8 signs that what you think is love might actually be a trauma bond. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. You know that feeling, right? Like you're on a roller coaster that just won't stop. One minute you're soaring with butterflies, the next you're plummeting into a pit of despair. We've all been there, clinging on to someone who feels more like a bad habit than a soulmate. But hey, love is a battlefield, or so they say. So grab your snacks, dim the lights, and get ready to explore the dark side of love. Okay, picture this. You're scrolling through social media and bam! There they are, your ex, looking all happy and glowing with their new flame. You feel that familiar pang of jealousy, right? But here's the thing. This isn't just any ex, this is the ex. The one who could charm the pants off a nun one minute and then ghost you for weeks the next, and yet you kept going back for more. Why? Because those intense highs and lows, those dramatic breakups and tearful reunions, they become addictive. It's like you're hooked on the chaos. But let's be real, it's not love, it's a toxic cycle fueled by insecurity and past wounds. If your relationship feels like a never-ending episode of a soap opera, it might be a trauma bond. Remember those old couples who bicker constantly, then hold hands during the commercials? Yeah, that's not cute. That's a red flag the size of Texas. Healthy relationships have their ups and downs, sure, but they shouldn't feel like you're constantly riding an emotional roller coaster. Okay, so you meet someone new. They're cute, they make you laugh, and suddenly they're all you can think about. You check your phone every 5 seconds, hoping for a text. You stalk their Instagram religiously. You even dream about them, and not in a good way, more like a stalkery. I need to know your every move kind of way. Sound familiar? Obsession can disguise itself as love, tricking you into thinking that constant preoccupation is a sign of deep affection. But let's be real, when you're so consumed by your partner that you neglect your own life, your friends, your hobbies, it's not romantic, it's unhealthy. You know it's bad when your friends stage an intervention like, "Girl, we haven't seen you since you started dating what's-his-face. You're starting to smell like his laundry." That's not a good look. When your partner is the only thing on your mind 24/7, it's not love, it's obsession. And trust me, obsession is about as romantic as a fungal infection. Okay, so you're in this relationship and deep down you know it's toxic. Like you could write a self-help book about all the red flags you've ignored, but there's this voice in your head, this nagging feeling that you can't leave. Maybe you're afraid of being alone. Maybe you've invested so much time and energy that you're terrified of starting over. Or maybe, just maybe, you've become so accustomed to the chaos that you mistake it for love. That feeling, my friends, is a trauma bond. It's like being in a horror movie where you know the killer is behind the door, but you open it anyway. You know it's a bad idea, but you just can't help yourself. If you feel like you're stuck in a horror movie and can't find the exit, you might be in a trauma bond. Chapter 4, Constant Drama. Let's be honest, we all love a little drama in our lives, but when your relationship feels like an episode of The Real Housewives on steroids, it's time to step back and reevaluate. You know the type. Every disagreement turns into a screaming match. Every text message is analyzed for hidden meaning, and every social media post is a passive-aggressive dig at the other person. It's exhausting, right? And yet some people thrive on this constant drama. They mistake the intensity for passion, the chaos for excitement. But let's be real. If your relationship has more drama than a reality TV show, it's probably not love. It's a toxic cycle of insecurity, control, and manipulation. Chapter 5, Fear of Abandonment. We've all been there, that gut-wrenching feeling of being left behind, but for some people, the fear of abandonment is so intense, so deeply ingrained, that it dictates their every move in a relationship. They become people pleasers, constantly seeking validation and reassurance. They cling to their partners, terrified of being alone. They make excuses for bad behavior, convincing themselves that it's better to be with someone, anyone, than to be alone. This fear can be paralyzing, preventing them from setting healthy boundaries or walking away from toxic relationships. When the fear of being alone keeps you in a relationship, it's not love, it's fear. And trust me, love shouldn't feel like a life sentence. Chapter 6, Lack of Trust. Trust, my friends, is the foundation of any healthy relationship. It's like the Wi-Fi password. Without it, you're not getting access to the good stuff. But in a trauma bond, trust is as elusive as a sober night out with Lindsay Lohan. You're constantly questioning your partner's motives, analyzing their every move, and convinced they're hiding something. You check their phone, stalk their social media, and interrogate them about their whereabouts. It's a full-time job, and let's be real, it's exhausting. This lack of trust stems from past hurts, from betrayals and disappointments that have left you feeling vulnerable and guarded. If trust is as rare as a unicorn in your relationship, it might be a trauma bond. And honey, you deserve more than a relationship built on suspicion and doubt. Chapter 7, Codependency. Codependency, the I can't live without you of relationship red flags. It sounds romantic, right? Like something out of a Nicholas Sparks novel. But in reality, it's more like a slow, agonizing descent into a bottomless pit of neediness. You see, in a codependent relationship, both partners lose themselves. They become so intertwined, so reliant on each other for their sense of identity and worth, that they cease to exist as individuals. It's like they're two pieces of melted cheese, inseparable and kind of gross. When you can't tell where you end and your partner begins, it's not love, it's codependency. And let me tell you, codependency is about as healthy as a diet of Cheetos and Diet Coke. Chapter 8, Repeating Patterns. Ever feel like you're stuck in a relationship Groundhog Day? Like you keep dating the same type of person, experiencing the same toxic patterns and ending up heartbroken over and over again? Yeah, that's not bad luck, my friend, that's a trauma bond. It's like you're drawn to the familiar, the comfortable, even if it's toxic. You seek out partners who reinforce your negative beliefs about yourself and relationships. You recreate the same unhealthy dynamics, hoping for a different outcome. But here's the thing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If your love life feels like a broken record, it's time to face the music. It's a trauma bond. And honey, you deserve a remix. So there you have it, folks. If any of these signs hit a little too close to home, it might be time to reevaluate your relationship. Remember, love should lift you up, not drag you down. It shouldn't feel like a life sentence, a hostage situation, or your least favorite horror movie on repeat. Love should make you feel good, like a warm, fuzzy blanket, a perfectly brewed cup of coffee, or that first bite of pizza after a long day. Until next time, stay twisted.